Yes, ma'am.
Buenas tardes, Leanne. Did you forget about the cooking show today?
Today?
Today, yeah. Genesis been in the kitchen waiting on you.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I hope she has everything ready. Genesis, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm late.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I thought it was tomorrow.
Oh,
And Loriella called and said, are you ready? So I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, I got here early to start prepping, and Gloria let me in, said to make myself like I'm home. So that's what I did. Let's get started.
Okay. Welcome everyone to this edition of Cooking Innovations. I'm Leanne Anderson with CHI St. Luke's Health Memorial, and this is Genesis Valdez. She's a registered dietitian nutritionist here at CHI St. Luke's with Sodexo, and she is our returning guest chef today.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I really
welcome.
have fun here. So today we're going to be making a Greek tenderloin, pork tenderloin, sorry. And we're gonna add some roasted vegetables. We're gonna have carrots, potatoes, and Brussels sprouts. I'm really excited about the Brussels sprouts because we brought the whole bush of Brussels sprouts.
Oh, great. Okay. So this is kind of the sheet pan dinners that we had talked about earlier,
Yes.
right?
You mentioned it one time,
Yeah.
and I thought it was so easy and versatile because you can put in whatever vegetables you like. So I thought we should try it out.
Awesome. Well, let's get started.
Okay, so let's start with the Brussels sprouts because
Okay.
it's a whole thing we have to cut.
This must be it over here.
Yes, this is it. And is this how you find it at the grocery store?
Yes.
Yes, and it could take a little while to cut it, but you just kind of rip it off here. If you do go to the grocery store, they sell it in little bags already cut up for you. Or my favorite ones are the ones that are frozen because you can leave them there forever in the freezer and
They're always ready.
they're always ready.
Yes.
Yes. So if you don't eat them all at one time, you can.
Yeah. This would be fun
Definitely
probably
save
if you
them.
had small kids at home to get them to help you in the kitchen, right?
Yes. So we want to cut these off. And these have already been washed.
Okay.
Yes. So while I cut this, do you want to prepare the meat?
Sure.
Okay. And
So we're using a pork loin, and this is about 1 pound of pork.
1 pound of pork, yes.
And pork is a lean cut of meat. A lot of people shy away from pork thinking that it's not heart healthy, but
Yeah,
the pork loin is very lean, and in moderation is a good choice.
yes. And it also has some fat that you can definitely trim.
Okay.
But in this case, we're just going to leave it there. It's not much. We're just going to leave it there for flavor.
Okay.
You might want to put it in the middle of the pan right here.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm almost done cutting this. So we're going to do a seasoning mix, and this is going to be fun.
Okay. What else? What other vegetables you already have cut up?
Oh, sorry. I have carrots and potatoes in there already cut up, and the Brussels sprouts are going to go right in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now for the seasoning, we're going to use oregano. It's going to be 2 teaspoons of oregano. Just remember the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. The tablespoon is much bigger than a teaspoon. A tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So just remember the difference when you're preparing your dish at home. You want 2 teaspoons of oregano, so the little one.
And the great thing about these types of recipes is you can adjust the seasoning according to what your taste. It doesn't have to be the exact measurement, correct?
Correct, yes. So it doesn't have to be the exact measurement. You can add a little bit of more of what you like the most. But
Okay.
in this case, we're going to use 1 teaspoon of basil. And then we're going to use lemon pepper seasoning. We're going to do half a teaspoon. And we're going to use some garlic powder, and that's going to be 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Okay. And the lemon pepper, one thing to remember about that is it does have salt added. So if you're watching your sodium, you may want to use a little less or look for a salt-free lemon pepper.
Yes. Okay, so now that we have everything here, we want to mix it. I'm just going to use a little spoon to mix it.
Okay.
And we are going to get, you can use any kind of oil to put on the tenderloin, but preferably you want to use a canola oil, or in this case, we're going to use olive oil.
One of those heart-healthy fats.
Yes. Okay, so just put it on top.
Okay.
And you can brush it. If you have one of these at home, you can use them, but you can always use your hands.
As long as you wash them well, right?
Yes. Food safety is very important.
Yeah, I noticed you kept the cutting board separate for the raw meat and then your vegetables. That's a very important food safety tip.
And here at the kitchen, we have a green cutting board for vegetables and then red for meats to keep them always separate.
Okay.
Yes. And this is very important, especially if you have people with their immune system compromised, for example, cancer patients, or people with HIV, or you have a little kid at home. It's very important for you to wash your hands, keep things separate. So we're gonna rub this on top.
Okay, I'll do that. And just kind of.
Yes.
Just on the top, or should you want to do the sides?
Do a little bit of the side so we can get the flavor all over.
Then that just soaks in with the olive oil as it's baking.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna prepare.
Can I wash my hands?
Of course, go wash your hands. Yes. So now we're gonna prepare the vegetables, and ideally we want to add another tablespoon of oil. In this case, we're still using extra virgin olive oil. Sometimes the oil is a preference of taste, but as I mentioned before, canola oil and olive oil are your best options. So I put in a tablespoon of olive oil, and I am gonna put salt and pepper to taste.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put a little bit on top.
And I think am I right, when you add a little bit of salt to your vegetables, it kind of helps them roast a little bit more evenly, or
yes,
a little more caramelized.
Yeah, you just want to mix well. And how I mentioned before, with this recipe, you don't have to do Brussels sprouts if you don't like it, or if you don't, you can change the vegetables. Other good vegetables to include are cauliflower, if you like celery, and
I would probably have to use squash instead of Brussels sprouts at my house. They're not a very popular item.
I can understand that. They do have a very strong
taste for
smell.
them.
Yes, but they're definitely my favorite.
Well, and one of the things we've talked about before too are eating seasonal foods. So right now asparagus is in season, so that could be one you could substitute for one of the vegetables, or as the summer comes around, fresh green beans. So just whatever vegetables are probably the least expensive and the freshest are going to be the ones to go with, right?
Yes, and also include the kids when you're picking the vegetables, because we want them to really eat their veggies. And I feel that's a big problem nowadays with kids, that they're not very interested in eating vegetables. But if you let them choose and bring that Brussels sprout bush thing to the house, maybe they get excited and they really want to
give it a try.
Yes. Okay. So now that the tenderloin is seasoned, we're gonna add the vegetables around it. Okay. And you can arrange it for it to look pretty. The more colors it has, the better, because it looks pretty, but it also gives you a lot more nutrients. Vegetables are high in vitamins and minerals and other phytonutrients that are important for our health. But sometimes we stick to the same vegetables because that's what we like. try to a different vegetable maybe once a week or once a month until you
expand your repertoire of vegetables.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Didn't quite get cut.
And one more thing we're gonna add here is garlic. I don't know if you like roasted garlic.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had it?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I really like it. So the garlic, we have it right here. And we're just gonna peel it and we'll show you how to do it. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, so we're gonna cut the garlic. You wanna remove all the extra paper that's around it, and we're gonna roast the whole head.
Okay, so just kind of that outer
Yes.
loose paper or skin. Okay.
So once it's all off, we're gonna use our green cutting paper over here to cut we're gonna use the green one to cut the garlic. And we're just gonna cut the top right here.
Okay, so that way it won't fall apart probably, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
You just cut a little bit from the top and remove the extra paper.
Okay.
And it makes it look so pretty if you put it just there.
Oh yeah, and when it gets roasted and caramelized, that'll be really good.
Yes. And then we
And-
have another one, so we're gonna do the other one as well. Here we go.
And the mushrooms,
Oh, yeah.
that's one of my favorites.
Okay. So I'll let you put them around.
Okay. Just kind of fill in the gaps there. These are portobello mushrooms, am I right?
Yes. They have a stronger taste.
Yeah, kind of a richer flavor.
Yes, compared to the other ones. I don't know the name of them, but they're the white ones at the store. They have a much richer taste.
Great, so that's it?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So we're gonna put it in the oven at what temperature?
425 degrees
Get that
Fahrenheit.
roasting, okay.
Yes, and we're gonna leave it there for about 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, well let's go. If you get the door, I'll throw it in there. I suppose too, to save time, you could even pre-cut those vegetables the night before or earlier in the day, and then you can just throw it together in the evening, right?
Yes, and what I tell some of my clients is that the day they have the most time, it's usually the weekends, specifically Sundays, they could cut the vegetables and put them in Ziploc bags. So it's easier for
Right.
them to cook during the week and include those vegetables. I like to recommend to my patients the frozen vegetables because those are already cut for you and ready to go. You just add a little
Right.
bit of seasoning and put them, you can put them in the microwave or steam them.
Yeah,
But it's
that's a great way to work those in too.
Yes.
So you think we should check on the pork and see how it's
Yes, I
coming
think
along?
it should be ready. It's been about 30 minutes.
okay?
So I'm gonna get my meat thermometer. You can get this at any department store or home store, and it has to be at 145 or above.
Another one of those food safety. So, okay, we're right at
150.
150.
Okay, so
It's ready.
this is ready. Let's get it out.
Okay.
Let me get this one. I can get it out.
Can you get it?
Yes. Let's see. And get the foil paper so we can cover it. We're gonna let it rest for a couple of minutes.
And that's so kind of the juices soak back into the meat.
Yes. So Leanne, tell us about the salad you will be making today.
Okay, well, you know me, I like fast and easy. So we're just gonna put together some spring greens and a few radishes. Those are in season this time of year. And a little Parmesan and some salad dressing.
Okay.
So if you buy the pre-made greens, they're already rinsed and trimmed. This is about 6 cups of greens. We sliced the radishes. We
Yes.
made those from the fresh. That's another fun things that kids might like to help shop and prepare. For the dressing, I just mixed together 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, some salt and pepper, and just put it in this little jar and shake it. Mixes it right up. And when you make your own dressing like that, it's usually 2 parts oil to 1 part acidic, like lemon juice or vinegar, and add your own salt and pepper. You save a lot of sodium and a lot of times sugar too from the recipe.
And that
versus
smells
the bottled.
really good. It smells.
It's got a fresh,
lemon.
kind of springy scent.
And we're doing a salad because we want to add more vegetables to our plate. And this is a way to do it. If
Yes.
you are already eating the roasted vegetables and then you do a mixed salad, that's going to increase your fiber intake and your nutrient intake.
And it's filling too. That way you get full without having to eat so much of the meat or the starchy vegetables.
Yes.
And then we're just going to add a little of this shaved Parmesan cheese. That's going to add a little more flavor. You can always add a little more salt and pepper, and it's going to be ready to serve.
I'll help you mix it.
All right.
Okay.
So that literally took, what, 5 minutes? We cheated on the radishes, but other than that, and again, if you don't like radishes, you could add cucumbers or tomatoes or any other kind of vegetable that you would like to add to that salad.
I think now families are going to have a lot of options for vegetables.
Right, absolutely.
Okay. This has been sitting for about 5 minutes and I think it's ready to be served.
Looks awesome.
Okay, let's cut a little bit of the pork first.
Looks good.
Yes.
Perfect, doesn't it?
We're gonna put it in our plate, and I am gonna get a little bit of everything because
Absolutely.
I enjoy the garlic and the Brussels sprouts, the carrots and the potatoes.
Awesome. This reminds me too, you know, we talk a lot with our clients and patients about using the plate method for picking a healthy meal. And this, you've got half of your plate or even a little more of those non-starchy vegetables, and then 1/4 of it your protein, and the potatoes are going to be 1/4 of your starch. So I think that's a pretty balanced meal.
It is pretty balanced.
Yeah. And then I think you've got some toppings there too.
Yes, we have a pesto, and we're gonna add it to the pork.
Okay.
It's for extra flavor. Of course, it's optional.
So you can buy this pre-made usually, or you can, if you've got basil growing at home, which I'm trying to keep some alive, you can make your own pesto. Citrus always adds a little brightness as well for flavor, especially if you're trying to cut back on the sodium. That will add some flavor also. So I think that looks great. It's been a fun afternoon of cooking, something easy and quick and healthy.
I'm excited to try it already.
Well, let's go for it. And Genesis, thanks for joining me today as we try to change the world one bite at a time. Memorial Cooking Innovations is made possible through the generous efforts of CHI St. Luke's Memorial, the Polk Education Center, Sodexo Food Service, and the City of Lufkin, KLTX Channel 15.